and welcome back to my channel. It's Jenny of Jenny Stitches and a happy new year to you. It's 2022, woohoo! Hopefully a year of new beginnings and fresh starts, and that is very apt for today's theme. I thought I would put together a little collection of patterns and fabrics that I would recommend for beginners. Yay! Tea today. Need all the tea at the moment. It's a strange old day here in Barrow. It's been raining and the shop's been very quiet because it tends to be on a rainy day. Cold, but it's been snowing in other parts of Cumbria, but we rarely get the snow here because we're so close to the sea that usually it hits literally the town 4 miles away and then we get nothing, which isn't a lot of fun. I like snow. Anyway, I digress. Did you get a sewing machine for Christmas, or did you decide that you want to get into dressmaking this year and this is the year that you are going to start having a go at making things? Are you going to maybe branch out from quilting or whatever? Then I've got some suggestions. One of the most popular questions that I get in the shop is where to begin. I get a lot of absolute beginners coming in, and we've had a lot of that since the pandemic started, because obviously a lot of people have taken up sewing as like a lockdown hobby. So advising beginners is my speciality now. And I'm pleased to report that usually, in most cases when we've advised people with patterns, they've gone away and come back and had amazing results, and it's just that confidence to get going. So my advice is always to just get stuck in. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be Sewing Bee standard. We haven't got Patrick and Esme out here judging our individual makes. Just get started. Do the thing. So without further ado, one of the nicest and most straightforward places to start is with a bag. Now, I don't mean a complicated handbag with lots of straps and lots of zips and closures, literally just a tote bag. Now, this is Simplicity 9308, and this has been such a popular pattern since it came out. I think it came out over the summer, and my mum kindly sewed up a sample for the shop window, and I'll try and pop a picture in of it made up for you. And it's a tote bag that comes in 3 different sizes, and it's got handles, and that's it. So for a beginner project, this is a fantastic place to start, and that is because it doesn't have to fit anybody. It doesn't have to fit to body parts. You can make it out of a nice simple fabric, and if it goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. So, and in fact it is down as a learn to sew pattern, which I think with Simplicity means they're a little bit more forgiving with the instructions that they put together. So that's a really good place to start. Now, a lot of customers have taken this away, and because with it being in the window, anything that goes in the window tends to be a hit. And have had great success, and then use that as a starting point and a springboard to move on to other more complex things. And over Christmas, I think a lot of people receive these as Christmas gifts, because obviously it's a great little pattern to turn out presents for other people. So yeah, Simplicity 9308, a nice little tote bag, a good little pattern to invest in because you're going to get plenty of use out of it if you keep hold of all the different sizes. Happy days. Oh, in fact, my mum made these for my children because my son saw the bag in the window and said, oh, I'd like Grandma to make me one of those, which she did. And when she gave it to him, she left it on his bed, and the kids came home and my daughter said, I think Grandma must have forgotten my bag. So she now has a bag of her own. But Grandma, you've forgotten my bag, because I've asked a few times if she would sew me a bag up and haven't got it, so there you go, I'm just going to publicly shame her into doing that. I'm only joking, Mum. Please don't be cross. So, anyway, before we get too off the track, fabrics-wise, it's completely up to you where you start if you're going for a first project. I don't want to be too hypocritical, because some of my first projects were ludicrous, and I mean, I literally rocked up to my mum with 5 meters of georgette and said, I'm going to a wedding, I need to make a dress, I've got this pattern, this should be fine, shouldn't it? And looking back, that was just ridiculous. Unfortunately, I know better now, and I can share with you the benefit of my experience. Don't start with a tricky fabric. I would 9 times out of 10 recommend that you begin with cotton. And a nice woven, stable, firm cotton is going to behave when you're sewing with it. So for the bags, I would particularly recommend a firmer cotton, a cotton canvas or a cotton duck like this one. This is the Rainbow Tiles, and I just thought I'd show you it as an example because it's just so much fun, and made up in one of those bags, it'll be really cool. It's heavier than the usual sorts of cottons, so that means it's going to be easier to work with because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to slide around on your machine. When you press it, it's just going to hold the crease and just generally behave, and that's what you need. If you're first starting out, it's difficult enough to learn all the techniques and where everything needs to go and mastering your machine and things without having a slippery fabric as well. So don't try and make a halter neck georgette dress to be a friend's bridesmaid. Ask me how I know. Moving on, let's have some more tea. Clothing wise, if you perhaps say have had some experience of sewing in general, you've done some little handicrafts, you might have made toys, you might have made bags, quilts, whatever, and you want to make a first garment, a good place to start, which I always recommend, is Pajama Bottoms. This is Simplicity 9129, and this is one of my tried and tested patterns. I use this pattern a lot. Now, the reason I would always say Pajama Bottoms is because, again, if it goes wrong, they're not going outside. It's not like you're sewing a pair of trousers or a pair of jeans. The only person that's going to know if there's mistakes in it is you, and if the worst comes to the worst and there's a couple of bodges on it, you're just wearing them around the house as loungewear, so it's not such a great write-off. That being said, there's no reason. I have faith in you. That's not necessarily going to happen, but it takes the pressure off knowing that it's just something for you and it's something for in the house. 9129 is a great pattern because it's a simple pajama bottom and it covers the entire family. So it runs from a child's extra small, which is ages 4 to 5, all the way through to an adult's extra large. So nearly everybody can be covered off this pattern if you trace the sizes. You're fine. So I've used this to make pyjamas for myself, for my husband, for my children. So it really pays for itself in that respect. And fabric wise, again, use cotton, because not only would cotton be nice to work with, it's nice to wear in bed. It's breathable and it's soft and it's crisp and it's lovely. So this is a great example. This is cotton poplin. Now, please don't dip this in the tea. I always recommend cotton poplin for dressmaking because it has a nice tight weave and a smooth finish. So some of the craft cottons that you can get and some of the quilting cottons, for example, are great for sewing with. Don't get me wrong, you can make garments with them, no problem, but they haven't quite got that smooth, lustrous kind of finish that you will get with a poplin. And poplin is really, really good value. It tends to retail, this one is £8 a metre, because it's 150 wide. A lot of poplins are 45 inches, so 115 centimetres wide, and they tend to retail for around £6 or £7. So if you're just getting started and you don't want to spend a lot of money because you're not confident in the results, poplin's an awesome place to start. And you can use it to make not only pyjamas, you could use it to make the bag, you could use it to make other things that I'm going to touch on. It's just a great all-rounder. So there you go, that's the polka dot poplin in pink, and I think I've got this in black, navy, red and a pale blue, so there's quite a few options in that one. I love it. I would actually really like a big full skirted vintage style dress in this fabric, but that's digressing a little bit. Okay, so we've done a bag, we've made some pajama bottoms. What if we want to wear something outside? Now, when I first started to sew, I went to night school in Preston, and the teacher there said, for a first garment, either make separates. She said, make either a top or a skirt or some trousers. but not a dress. And I thought, now when I think about it, I think why? There's some really straightforward dresses which arguably have less techniques involved than, like, for example, a pair of trousers. What? So I often recommend the Tilly and the Buttons Stevie dress to complete beginners, and that is because it has no fitting techniques involved. It's boxy and it's loose, so we're not going to have to worry about darts. It doesn't have a closure. On the back, I don't know if you can see, it's got this lovely little tie detail, but there's no zip. There's no buttonholes, there's nothing technical that's gonna be pushing you out of that beginner zone. So for an absolute beginner, this is a fantastic first garment, and it is entirely wearable. I've made this dress and I wore it to death in the market. It's really cute, it's really comfy, and yeah, I think it's just an all-round winner. So you've also got the option on this pattern to make a top. I'll just show you there, see there, and it's like a little square kind of boxy top, which is really cool. And obviously the outcome of how this looks will be affected by the fabric that you use. So for example, if you're going to use like a linen or a stiffer cotton, you're going to get a much more crisp shape to the garment. But if once you've got a little bit of practice under your belt and you want to try maybe a viscose or a crepe, that's going to flow nicer and give a more sort of drapey finish. So it's a great little pattern that's you're going to get plenty of use out of, especially kind of for the top. You can knock them up. So yeah, excellent. And as always, if you're just starting out, Tilly's instructions are fantastic. They're clear, they're well photographed. I wish they had existed when I started sewing. Unfortunately, indie patterns were just kind of getting going back then. But yeah, they're really, really good, and there's loads of information online. If you Google any one of these pattern names, a sew along will probably come up. There'll be blog posts, there'll be all sorts of stuff, so you're never short of resources for these. Fabrics wise, again, you can use any of the cotton poplin that we've already mentioned. I have picked out off the shelf actually a cotton and linen blend, because I think that would be lovely for the summertime. This is my Emma linen and cotton blend, and you can see how that moves there, and it's so pretty. Really, really nice. I have made a dress with this fabric in the red colourway, which I still have in stock, and it just sewed like a dream. It's just so crisp and easy to use, and it wears nicely, it's comfortable to wear, and because it's got that linen content, it's really breathable. So yeah, really pretty, really nice. If you made a little summer frock or a top in that one, very, very cute. Okay, number 4, we have, hold on, I need tea. Oh, we have the Sew Over It Ava Skirt. Now then, I want to make this. I haven't had a chance to make this pattern yet, but like Tilly and the Buttons, Sew Over It are another fantastic independent designer. Their instructions are great. They've got loads of tutorials on the website. Lisa's YouTube channel is fantastic. So you're not going to be short on resources and hand-holding if you need help. The Ava Skirt is a little skirt, obviously, with a waistband, and it does have a zip in the back. So that's slightly more technical than the garment that we've just discussed, but there's absolutely no reason why you can't tackle that as a beginner. And it says to use a medium to heavyweight woven fabric such as cotton, denim, viscose linen or wool. So I have picked out this is the yarn dyed stretch denim. So sometimes I get people in who say, oh, is sewing with denim difficult? No, denim is cotton. So sewing with this is no different to sewing with the first cotton canvas that I showed you. It's just a heavier weight cotton. I would not be intimidated by the word stretch. Stretch denim is not stretchy, it's just got a little bit of give. A bit like if you wear skinny jeans, and they give a little bit. It's not crazy stretchy, but it's just got a touch. which makes it nice to wear and move about in. So that's a lovely option for making the Ava skirt. I personally would like to make it in a check, in like a tartan, but I wouldn't recommend that for a beginner because then you have pattern matching to bear in mind. So, and pattern placement and things like that. So I would start with something relatively plain or with a print that's so busy you don't necessarily have to consider the pattern match. Topped it. Okay, and lastly, I am going to show you the Cashmerette Springfield top. So this is a basic shell top, and I think that was covered on this year's Sewing Bee. It was this year's, yeah. Feels like a lifetime ago that the Sewing Bee was on. I can't believe I got all this way through this video without being interrupted. It's been so quiet today. I thought, oh, I'll just sneak my filming in whilst the shop is open. So we got to 4 out of 5 without interruption. So anyway, where was I? I was talking about the Springfield and the fact that it's a shell top. So it's a great place to start, and it is a superbly wearable garment. Obviously being sleeveless, you kind of think summer, but it's great as a layering piece or maybe as a pajama top as well. There's lots of possibilities there. And again, this one recommends using a light to mid-weight woven fabric such as cotton, linen, chambray, which is a very lightweight denim, viscose, crepe or silk. Now I wouldn't recommend starting with silk, but any of the cottons that we've looked at, sorry, not any of them, the linen one and the poplin would be great. And I thought I would also just show you, I plucked off the shelf this beautiful cotton double gauze. Now double gauze is, it's almost like cheesecloth, like muslin, you know, like baby muslins. It's like that. And essentially it's 2 layers of cotton which have been tacked together at intervals to create this lovely, very soft textured material. So I'm going to show you it on the single there. And this is a lovely sage green colour. So in the summertime, this is like super breathable and comfortable to wear and soft against the skin. It's beautiful. So that's a really nice option for something that's a little bit different and is going to hang really nicely as well. So I hope that was helpful. I thought I'll just leave it at 5 instead of inundating you with options, but kind of covered all bases there in terms of a bag through to loungewear, from separates to a dress. So if you're looking to get started with sewing in 2022, just dive in, get going, practice on some scraps, practice on an old bed sheet, have fun, get to know your machine and enjoy, because it is the best hobby. As I said, I hope you're all good. If you want to catch up with me and see more of this kind of content, I am on social media here. I'm on Instagram the most, I think it's fair to say. I'm hoping to be back soon. I have promised you, goodness knows how many times, another fabric focus video, so I'll be getting on with that soon, and I think we'll have a look at the corduroy because I've just had, you can see in the background, a big delivery of cord come in. I've got lots of new fabrics on the way in the next week or two. Thank you to everybody that shopped in the winter sale. It kind of went crazy and the shelves have dropped, so I've been doing lots of shopping this week now that I'm back in work. But I hope you're good, take care, I hope you're not stuck in any snow anywhere, and I will see you soon. Oh, and if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments box below and I'll see if I can help you out. Take care, bye bye.